He's just a common man, working hard with his hands. Oh, he's just a common man. Oh, whoa, you're not recording that, right? Cheeky. Oh, I thought you were recording that for a minute there. Is that red light on? You cheeky little... So we kicked off this week's episode of NXT with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Now obviously it's a once yearly thing and it's a brilliant little tournament where all the tag teams get together and they all have a good wrestle and it's lovely. And this one kicked off with TM61, who were in the final last year, against Authors of Pain, who were also in the final. Yeah, this was a good match as to be expected. Obviously two very good teams. TM61 looked great throughout the match. They really put in a lot of aerial offense and Shane Thorne and Miller looked really like they're back where they're supposed to be. But ultimately, Authors of Pain just too strong, too big, too nasty. And we saw Shane Thorne, he took a powerbomb from Razor. He was inside the ring, powerbombed him onto the apron. Honest to God, Shane Thorne selling like a goddamn car salesman working for commission. Bounced off the apron, flew onto the floor, and literally, I think he may be dead. I am pretty confident he's dead. I mean, he did not move afterwards. He is dead. There's no questions. From there, Nick Miller had to face both members of the Authors of Pain, which did not end well for him. It was the old last chapter from the boys, and that was it. 1, 2, 3, TM61 out in the first round. But if you're going to go out to anybody, you probably want to go out to a team like the Authors of Pain. On a little side note, Sheamus and Cesaro are obviously looking for competition. Sheamus put out a little tweet saying, you know, someone needs to step up to the bar. And basically we've got the Authors of Pain, who would be the perfect fit in my eyes to go up and do that. Oh yes, of course. Then we had a nice little bit in the back where we had William Regal, who was obviously very excited because the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic has started again. He had a little stint, but then he disappeared. Pete Dunne came down, and him and Roderick Strong had a little couple of words mentioned. Basically, Strong really likes Dunne. He basically says, I respect you as a competitor, but he'd like another shot at that UK title. And I tell you what, I would like to watch that match again, because what a great match that was. But before Pete Dunne and Roddy Strong could get into things, Undisputed Era turned up right on cue. Adam and the boys looking fantastic as always. In fact, all of the gents in this particular segment look rather good. And especially Mr. Pete Dunne, he's always looking right on point. But yeah, Adam Cole took the piss out of Roddy Strong, basically said, are you begging for another match that you can then go on to lose? And before he could say anything, big bad Pete Dunne stood up for him and said, yeah, what about you, mate? What have you done? And actually, now that I think about it, rather depressingly, I don't think I can argue with that. Pete Dunne is right. Adam Cole and the boys, while they have been rather impressive, and they did win the War Games match, Adam Cole, as a singles competitor, hasn't really done a great deal. Nevertheless, that caused a bit of friction, which would then lead on later to these two being announced as having a UK title match next week, which is going to be awesome, and also keeping fresh the fact that Roddy Strong and Pete Dunne could go again. So yeah, all in all, wonderful stuff. Short and sweet, but a nice little up. Then it was back to in-ring action. We had Bianca Belair versus Drew Renee, the enhancement talent, and obviously these matches, we've been getting quite a few of them from Bianca Belair, where she is doing the squash. And this one was particularly short, actually, almost a bit too short. They've been kind of hit and miss, these squash matches we're here, and I think some of them have worked to like showcase her power, and while this one sort of did, I think we need a little bit more, because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like enough at the moment. Not a huge fan of this finisher of hers, where the reverse powerbomb, for somebody like her, she needs something where it's going to be pop and then bang, and this doesn't seem like it has that, and it really doesn't look like it would hurt that much, because all that happens is they get thrown off the top and land face down on the floor. So unfortunately, this match gets the absolute pleasure of having the only down in this week's episode. Nevertheless, though, I don't want to take anything away from Bianca Belair. I think she is doing good work, and as Mauro Ranallo said, you might as well call her Bianca Butter, because that is a woman who's on a roll. Then it was a backstage promo again. This time Lacey Evans was on screen. She was trashing Dakota Kai. Bit of trash talk from her. Lacey Evans trying to up her heel game a little bit, but she was quickly interrupted by Shayna Baszler, who very quickly commandeered the interview, and Lacey Evans rather smartly disappeared, because who wants to get in the way of Shayna Baszler, who will either make you tap, nap or snap, as she would tell you. Baszler basically then went on to say how Ember Moon hadn't answered her challenge. She said she'd been challenging her for weeks, and technically that's true, but only really 2 weeks, because only 2 weeks ago she was in a match with her, which Ember had answered. So slightly flawed logic there, but never mind. She has been calling her out, and I'm not going to tell her, because Christ almighty, should have me for dinner. And then that promo was quickly followed by, oh God, do you know what it is? I don't know why. I have no... I don't know why, but I find Otis Dozovic to be absolutely hilarious. I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out yet, but for some reason, anything that man does is just cracks. So we had the thing where him and Tucker were basically saying that they'd gone from being young calves to being lambs, and there was all this meat and beef and all these kind of meat-related puns, but Otis does. I don't know what it is. I literally don't know what it is, but what I do know is he can have an up for that and all those promo segments can have an up just purely because he's great. Why not? I'm down with that. Otis Dozovich say, thank you very much. You make my life much easier. Okay, but serious face now because Tommaso Ciampa come out and this was very much the exact opposite of that funny segment we just had. It was all about the seriousness. The fans now hate Ciampa. Ciampa also needs a permit for his arms because Jesus Christ, his veins have now got veins. He is absolutely ripped to shreds. Every time Ciampa tried to speak on the mic, he was getting booed out the building, and then on top of that, you had a bunch of "We Want Johnny" chants. And this is perfect. This is exactly what they wanted. They've turned a guy who arguably everybody loved into a guy who we all now hate because of what he's done to Johnny Gargano. And as such, Ciampa is just absolutely milking it. Great little promo this of him not even saying a word and getting all of that reaction. He's got nuclear heat with the fans at the minute, and that's great because that's what they want. They need a heel who's getting booed, because how many heels have we got who get genuinely booed these days? Then ultimately Ciampa got very frustrated that he couldn't speak his mind because of all the boos, etc, etc. He did a number of storm outs and then grabbed the Gargano sign and ripped it in half and whacked it with his crutch, because obviously the paper's going to feel that one, and that's important that you whack paper with crutches. But Ciampa managed to leave the ring without saying a word and stood on the ramp and absolutely soaked in the boos of the fans before they quickly turned to Johnny Wrestling chants, and Ciampa left with the biggest shit-eating grin all over his face. He went out there, he got what he wanted, and it was a great segment, so of course it's getting an up. And then it was the big one to end the night. Killian Dain, the Beast of Belfast, coming up against Aleister Black, the man from Amsterdam, and they're both competing for the #1 contendership to face Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship at NXT New Orleans. As you would expect from these two, this was a great match. Two guys very much at the top of their game in NXT. Aleister Black has been on a hell of a run. Killian Dain is just an absolute monster, and he's been booked so, which makes it very believable that he could absolutely destroy Aleister Black. And for long portions of this match, that is exactly what he did. Dain had the best of this one, there's no questioning about that. He was beating Aleister Black up for long portions of this match, but Black managed to hang on, his resilience really showing through in this match, and ultimately managed to capitalise on one moment, one lack of concentration from Killian Dain, and hit him with the Black Mass. What a great finisher the Black Mass is. So quick, so lethal, and to my knowledge, I think nobody's kicked out from that, and at the minute that is exactly what's missing. People with finishers, where they are exactly that, they are finishers. You do your finisher and nobody gets up. I don't think anybody's lost anything from this match. Killian Dain genuinely looks even more dangerous than he did before the match started, which is perfect, that's what you want. But to be fair, you can't really argue with that. Aleister Black has been on a great run. He's won all these awards for being the superstar of the year, and now he will face Andrade Cien Almas at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and you can bet your bollocks that match is going to be fantastic. Of course, there'll be comparisons from now until pretty much whenever with Almas in a match. Any match that he does from this point on will be compared to the Gargano Almas match, the 5-star match, but I still think those two are going to tear it up, and hopefully we get a new champion in Aleister Black. My word, how good would that entrance look with the belt around his waist? Oh, and by the way, up. And that's it from this week's episode of NXT Ups and Downs. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you want more NXT related content like this, then head over to whatculture.com right now. Maybe even give the NXT Ups and Downs article by Andy Murray a little read on the site, because that is just as good as this, although this one's slightly, just marginally better. And a big shout out to the boys over at Black and Brave Apparel for providing today's garments. As you can see, looking rather fresh thanks to them. Of course, Seth Rollins and Marek Brave, their wrestling academy, and their brand also does lots of t-shirts, which you should definitely get involved with. If you want to pick yourself up one, head over to blackandbraveapparel.bigcartel.com. My name is Adam Nicholas. This has been NXT Ups and Downs, and as always, have a fucking great day.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.